Senator Lindsey Graham says President Obama is basically incompetent when it comes to foreign policy. And today's news from around the world is only adding fuel to the fire for the president's critics. A year ago, President Obama called ISIS JV. And today, ISIS is threatening to behead 2 more hostages, one a Japanese journalist and the other a Jordanian pilot. But there's more. In ISIS' latest video message, ISIS is now threatening President Obama directly, naming him. Also today, the Sergeant Bo Bergdahl controversy is heating up. The Pentagon going on defense, trying to dismiss reports that Sergeant Bergdahl has been charged with desertion.
No decision has been made with respect to the case of Sergeant Bergdahl. None. And there is no timeline to make that decision. And General Milley is not being put under any pressure to make a decision. I think it is extraordinarily premature for anybody to say that they know what General Milley is going to decide and when he's going to decide it.
And there's more. Remember back in September when President Obama cited Yemen as a successful partner in our fight against terrorists? Well, fast forward to 2 days ago, President Obama admitting Yemen is a dangerous country. So why is the U.S. releasing detainees to Yemen's neighbors? Senator Lindsey Graham joins us. Good evening, sir.
Thank you.
All right, you said it's basically a failure. So let's start first. Any successes in foreign policy for the president?
Yeah, I think the decision to go after bin Laden in Pakistan was a very courageous decision because so many things could have gone bad, and he was viewed as a Jimmy Carter-type figure to begin with. So I give the president high marks for allowing the operation to go into Pakistan and get bin Laden.
All right, how about the swap with for Bergdahl, for Sergeant Bergdahl for 5 Taliban, and for some reason they can't even make a decision on that one?
I think a bad decision. If he had been a Medal of Honor winner, I would not have done the deal with the 5 Taliban. He doesn't negotiate very well. The reason I'm so frustrated is that our military leader said, Mr. President, you need to leave a residual force behind in Iraq. We fought very hard. Bush made a lot of mistakes, but he did self-correct. So he said, no, I'm not going to leave anybody behind. That war is behind us. He was told 3 years ago by his entire national security team, Mr. President, you need a no-fly zone in Syria. You need to start training the Free Syrian Army so they can take it to Assad. And he said no. And ISIL was a direct result of that decision to let Syria become basically a vacuum for terrorists to come in. And ISIL is a result of those 2 decisions, not leaving anybody behind in Iraq, which allowed al-Qaeda in Iraq to flourish to become ISIL, and creating a situation in Syria where the vacuum was filled by terrorists. Also, I think his decision in Yemen to just rely on drones hasn't worked out very well.
All right, let me go back to ISIS. He said a year ago, JV, this was long after he decided not to leave a residual force. Why do you think he said that comment? I don't mean to keep pounding him about it, but it shows to me that, I mean, it was already evident because they had already taken Fallujah at that point. He's calling it JV.
I think he tries to underestimate the, marginalize the threats and oversell the successes. Bin Laden is dead, but al-Qaeda is not decimated. But the biggest mistake is yet to come. If we continue on the path we are with the Iranians, they're going to wind up with a nuclear capability just like North Korea and one day have a bomb. He's about to make the biggest mistake of his presidency, and that is allow a nuclear capability, thousands of centrifuges in Iran to be operated by the Iranians, to be overseen by the United Nations. And the only thing between us and a nuclear-capable Iran, the Ayatollahs in Iran, will be the UN. That did not work in North Korea. It will not work in Iran. So I really believe the biggest mistake is yet to come, and that's the Iranian nuclear program. And his decision to withdraw all of our troops by 2017 in Afghanistan is literally insane in light of Iraq. All of his military commanders are saying you should not set a date for withdrawal. You should withdraw based on conditions. And finally, to release people out of Gitmo in this environment, to let people from Gitmo out of jail, not transferring them to another jail, just let them go, is insane given what's going on in the world.
You're calling everything insane. We give him credit for bin Laden. We all do.
Yeah,
is there anything besides bin Laden? Because everything else you laid out, you called it insane.
I think going into Libya and stopping Gaddafi from destroying Benghazi was a good decision, but he did not follow up. Once
today there was terrorism at a hotel and America was killed.
Because we didn't follow up. The militia have filled the vacuum that was created in Libya. You've got to stay with it, Mr. President. When the military tells you something, General Obama has a very bad track record when it comes to making military decisions. He's overruled his generals on 4 separate occasions, and every time he has done so, it's blown up in our face, not just his face. So, yes, I think he has been incompetent on foreign policy, and the worst is yet to come with Iran.
Senator, thank you, sir.
Thank you.